Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. And I want to say Shalom to Akman Akwat out there pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. This one's titled, The Romans Had Large Amounts of Sugar in Their Tanks. Alright? The Romans had large amounts of sugar in their tanks. Alright? And we all know what that means. So, I came across this article here, or this post on Reddit, and it basically said, today I learned about Sporus. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. It says, a slave boy who Nero married. And we all know, the reincarnation of Nero is Donald Trump, right? It says, after Nero died, he was passed around as a trophy by Roman generals fighting to take over Rome before being captured by Vitellius, who planned to have Sporus executed in a reenactment of the Grape of Proserpina. To avoid this, Sporus took his own life. Now, I was looking into it and reading into it a little bit. So this guy named Sporus, all right, he was a young slave boy whom the Roman Emperor Nero had castrated and married as his empress. Okay, married as a woman, all right, so it was a man with a man, all right, homosexuals. It says, during his tour of Greece in 66 to 67 AD, it says, allegedly, in order for him to play the role of his wife, Poppaea Sabina, who had died the previous year. But it says, allegedly in order for him to play the role of his wife, Poppaea Sabina, who had died the previous year. Now, who is Poppaea Sabina? Now, it says it was an empress. Now, was it an actual empress? So it seems like there was a woman as well. All right? Which would just mean, at that point, that's just bisexuality. Still being gay. But going down, we got, right here, it says, ancient historians generally portrayed the relationship between Nero and Sporus as an abomination. It says, Suetonius places his account of the Nero-Sporus relationship in his scandalous accounts of Nero's sexual aberrations between his graping of a Vestal virgin and committing incest with his mother. There's another thing that happened. That's sick. It says, some think Nero used his marriage to Sporus to assuage the guilt he felt for allegedly kicking his pregnant wife, Poppaea, to death. It says, Dio Cassius, in a more detailed account, writes that Sporus bore an uncanny resemblance to Poppaea, that Nero called Sporus by her name. So, there you go. So apparently this guy Sporus, Nero would just call Poppaea, or whatever, how you ever pronounce that name, because it looked like her, which is also goes to show you that Edomite women look like men. So let's go into life. It says, little is known about Sporus' background, except he was a youth to whom Nero took a liking. He may have been a pure Delacatus. These were sometimes castrated to preserve their youthful qualities. The pure Delacatus generally was a child slave chosen by his master for his beauty and sexual attractiveness. So not only were they doing homosexual acts, they were also getting with, children, as is something that they still do to these days with the Epsteins and all, the Epstein and, all these other people, and they're even getting Jake down on it. Now, who knows? Diddy might not even be a Jake at the end of the day. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not. Well, his crazy shit. But I also wouldn't be surprised if he is. Because Jake, does everything as wickedly as possible. So it says, Cassius Dio identifies Sporus as a child of a freed man. Now it says down here, marriage to Nero. It says Nero's wife, Poppaea, or whatever, Sabina, died in 65 AD. This is supposedly in childbirth, although it was later rumored Nero kicked her to death. Beginning of 66 AD, Nero married Statilia Messalina. Later that year, or in 67 AD, he married Sporus, who was said to bear a remarkable resemblance to Poppaea. Nero had Sporus castrated, and during their marriage, Nero had Sporus appear in public as his wife, wearing the regality that was the regalia that was customary for Roman empresses. He then took Sporus to Greece and back to Rome, making Calvia Crispinilia serve as mistress of the wardrobe. Says Nero had earlier married another freedman, Pythagoras, who had played the role of Nero's husband, again, being, fruity, gay. Now, Sporus played the role of Nero's wife, so that's like, transgender, right? Says, among other forms of address, Sporus was termed lady, empress, and mistress. Suetonius quotes one Roman who lived around this time who remarked that the world would have been better off if Nero's father, Gnaeus Domitius, had married someone more like the castrated boy. Basically, so Nero couldn't be brought into the world. So it says, shortly after Nero's death during the Calends festival, Sporus presented, had to wait out that bump. Nero presented, where were we? Nero with a ring bearing a gemstone depicting the grape of Proserpina, in which the ruler of the underworld forces a young girl to become his bride. It was at the time considered one of the many bad omens of Nero's fall. So, it says, Sporus was one of the 4 companions of the emperor's last journey in June of 68 AD, along with Ephroditus, Neophytus, and Phaon. It was Sporus and not his wife Messalina to whom Nero turned as he began the ritual lamentations before taking his own life. So it wasn't the woman he turned to in his final minutes. It was the man. He turned to the man. So after his death, it says soon after Sporus was, and this shows you it wasn't just Nero that was overwhelmingly fruity and zesty. It says soon after Sporus was taken to the care of Praetorian Prefect Nymphidius Sabinius. These names are ridiculous. Who had persuaded the Praetorian Guard to desert Nero. Nymphidius treated Sporus as a wife. There you go. Being a, what? All right. With the F that ends with the G. It says, and called him Pape. Nymphidius tried to make himself emperor, but was killed by his own guardsmen. In 69 AD, Sporus became involved with Otho, second of a rapid, violent succession of 4 emperors who vied for power during the chaos that followed Nero's death. Otho had once been married to Pape, so there you go, gay as well, until Nero had forced their divorce. Otho reigned for 3 months until his suicide after the Battle of Bedriacum. His victorious rival Vitellius intended to use Sporus as a victim in a public entertainment, a fatal reenactment of the Grape of Proserpina at a gladiator show. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Gladiator. I know that word. Gladiator. Sporus avoided this public humiliation by just commuting suicide. So there you go. You see it. So, yeah, man, they had some sugar in their tanks. Okay, and they're trying to cover it up, and we know who these devils are. At the end of the day, we know who they are. We know they're the Edomites. All right, you can tell in the way that they move, their buildings, all right, and their lineage, and all throughout the Bible, all right, who they are. Now, the Romans were Edomites. Okay, now who are the Edomites today? All right, these so-called white people. All right, and you can see they're the ones. They look like them. They dress like them. They love these reenactments. They love the Roman people. And really, they structured America, all right, Babylon the Great, after Rome, which is kind of stupid, because why would you structure a place out of somewhere that, why would you structure a country off of a place that fell, all right, the fall of Rome, right? Why would you structure that? It's like, it's just going to fall again, but that's what they did. So, for time and a period, these devils went unknown. Nobody really knew who they were. But now we're in that time of realization. We know who the Edomites are. All right, we have known for quite some time. But there was a time when we didn't. But now we know. And this is Luke 8:17. It says, "For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad." And they got 2 things here. One, all right, and this one, the one we were talking about just a minute ago was, of course, Esau, Edom being the Romans, all right, and so on and so forth. But this one we're talking about here is that, these Romans, all right, were overwhelmingly zesty, for, trying to choose my words carefully here, all right? And they even trace that back. And if you look at this culture and you look at that culture, that's really where homosexuality really started being, in their society, okay. It was allowed. It wasn't, anything that, some people thought it was vile or whatever, but, look at all these Roman emperors that took this guy as a wife, all right? And just look at the first transgender emperor, all right, was the first transgender ever came from Rome. So all those same ideologies are here in Babylon the Great, because it's the same place, right? So I gotta leave off right there. So Lord willing, I'll be back to finish it up. Maybe I'll find some more information about it, maybe some new scriptures. We'll see. So until then, Lord willing, shalom. All right, shalom, we're back. So let's go ahead and where do I want to go from here? I was actually looking just a little bit more through the comments, and there's not too much. But down here, this guy says, yup, ancients were horrifying. This guy says, ancients, this is going on in Afghanistan right now. And it says, actually, the Taliban outlawed it again. It says, you were downvoted, but Taliban outlawed it. The U.S. brought it back during their occupation to curry favor with the warlords, but now it's outlawed again. You can read about it here. So it seems like the U.S. brought it back during their occupation. So that's quite interesting, being that the U.S., is modern-day Rome, all right? And it's called, I'm going to butcher this, but it's called Baka Bazi. It says it refers to a pederasty practice in Afghanistan in which men exploit and enslave adolescent boys for entertainment or sexual abuse. The man exploiting the young is called the bashabaz, literally the boy player. Typically, the bashabaz forces the bacha, to dress in women's clothing and dance for entertainment. The practice is reported to continue into the present as of 2025. So there you go. You can see down here sexual abuse. They often despise their captors, so on and so forth. And this has come from, countries where, Islam is in effect, and they're apparently, quote unquote, they're not with all that homosexuality, but look what they're doing. Now, another interesting comment down here is someone typed Elon, which is funny, but who knows, man? Who knows? Because we already know that through reincarnation, all right, and we have many lessons about reincarnation. You can go and look that up. You can even go on my channel and just type in reincarnation. It will come up. I have one. I always recommend going to the Apostles of Great Millstone, which I'm not a part of, but that's who I learned from. And just look up GMS Declaring the End. That's Apostle Tahar's page, or GMS. It won't be GMS, but you can do GMS Infodoc channel 12. That'll be Apostle Ramalab. He has lessons about it. It's like a brain fart. And then you can also go to Apostle Gabar, and his page is Daily Edification, or Daily Edification 4. The whole page used to be Daily Edification, Daily Exhortation, but now it's Daily Edification 4, I believe. So yeah, you can go on there and just type in reincarnation, and it'll talk about that. Matter of fact, you can even just type in Nero on GMS Declaring the End, and you'll see that he has Apostle Tahar has videos on that very subject about Nero being Trump, and I believe the other apostles do as well, even brothers as well. So you can go and look into that. All right, I've even made a lesson about it myself. Of course, I always recommend you get it from the apostles, because that's where I learned from. You're definitely going to get more information that way. But yeah, man, this guy down here says Elon, and who knows? Could Elon perhaps be maybe the reincarnation of this guy Sporus? Who knows? I don't know. I'd have to look more into it and find more about Sporus, and just figure it out from there. But and we'd have to figure it out from there. But it could be. It could very well be, because there's some weird stuff going on with that. It's like, got some guys jamming out to the right, listen to fucking 1 pound fish. Anyway, the whole situation being that, it just requires a little bit more studying into it. I can't say that for sure Sporus is Elon without looking more into it, but being that they Elon and Trump have this weird homo-romantic relationship going on. And if you can't see it, man, it's weird. It's not like a regular relationship. There's some background shit going on right now. And, yeah, man, it's weird. It's for sure weird. But we know that's how Esau is, all right? We know they're with that Mo shit. You know, you got the ones that are, I'm not with it. Sure. All you need is a lady boy to come your way, or what they call a twink. All right, a younger boy that all dress up, look a little bit like a girl. You would totally do it. A lot of you Edomites, man, you totally would. And you're lying to yourself. A lot of that's repressed homosexuality. Okay, I wouldn't do it. You guys are usually the guys that end up found out, you know, with a guy. Here it is, you've been married 30 years with a woman. She ends up finding out that you're sneaking off with some teenage boy. You're the ones that always get up finding, especially you redneck hillbilly ass Edomites. You're the ones that try to play it off the hard. I'm not no damn queer. Yes, you are. It's just in you, man. You're just naturally sodomites. You know, the Edomite men, you're just naturally effeminate, man. There's something, I don't know what it is, but every time you see a Mo, 9 times out of 10, man, it's an Edomite. All right, it's an Edomite 9 times out of 10. And then after that, you got a lot of Issachar, you got a lot of the Asian area. All right, Moab, Ammon, right? And then now you're starting to see a rise in it with the northern kingdom, southern kingdom, so-called Negroes. All right, Judah, Levi, and Benjamin. You're seeing a lot with them now, which is weird because you never really saw it, but now towards these end days you're starting to see it more. So let's get Obadiah over here. It was Obadiah 1 and 6, and that reads, how are the things of Esau how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Now you have a lot of scriptures, you know, that put this as being money. All right, you'll see it says right here, but Luke in the NLT it says, for all that is secret. This isn't it. This is it's because it's Obadiah. But yeah, man. But you have it talking about money, but it's talking about his treasures being built up, and yeah, that as well. All right, his treasures are going to be, all of his treasures eventually just going to be belonging to us. All right, because all those treasures are our treasures. All his gold and his jewelry, it's all just comes from what he stole from us. But on top of that, you know, the things of Esau are going to be found out. All the little inner workings, all those little things, and like it says, how are his hidden things sought up? So all the things that he's trying to hide are just going to, you know, he tried to hide who we are, tried to hide who he is, and now, you know, I guess the new thing is that, you know, the term Caucasian is no longer. I was wondering why it wasn't used anymore. But I was looking up in ChatGPT, and I was looking into it, and I guess they just don't. They say it's not really accurate because the people now don't really stem from the Caucasus region, you know, in those mountain areas, and so now they're trying to stem even further from the word Caucasian, and we know why that is. We know, all right, because you know we're not. How's the scripture go? Lest Satan should get advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, right? Roughly paraphrasing. We know how Esau is. We're not stupid. We know that we were linking up Esau's lineage. All right, going back to those Caucasus Mountains, making him a cave dweller. We've already linked him back to the Bible links him back to Mount Seir. Okay, and being a mountain dweller, all right, thou that dwell in the clefts of the rock, all right, which is also in the Bible. So they can't be associated with people that were dwelling in clefts of the rock, because that further proves the point that they're Edomites. So they can't have the term Caucasian anymore. They have to change it, all right? Are they going to be called European Americans now? Are they going to pull one of those? What are they going to be called? White, all right? That's what they want, really, is just to be called white. But they're not white either, all right? They're not white. They don't look like paper, okay? They're pink, so they're not white. They can call them pink people, but you don't want to be called pink people either, because pink is a shade of red, and you don't want to be known as red people, because if you're known as red people, then you'll know that Esau came out red all over like a hairy garment, roughly paraphrasing. So you can't have that either. So we got to lie about something else. And then we have to lie about that. And then we have to lie about that to cover up this identity, right? That's what they're doing. We got to keep on lying because these Negroes might just find out who we are. And it's already been done, man. It's already been found out who you are. And you're trying to cover it up now, but it's every time you, like yesterday we mentioned the Streisand effect. Was it yesterday? I believe it was yesterday. You mentioned the Streisand effect, you know? When you try to cover up something or hide it, it only becomes more prominent. It becomes more known. And that's what you're doing now. You're hiding it. And it's just, now people are, well, why are you hiding it? What's the point of hiding it? Why are we so secretive about this? This is quite interesting, is it not? So Leviticus 18 and verse 22. This is just the obligatory scripture about homosexuality. It says, "Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is abomination." And yeah, we'll just leave it at that, because 23 and 24, 23 is really dealing with bestiality. Again, what you always see these Edomites doing. There's actually a post that I saw just the other day. Matter of fact, I closed out of Reddit. That lady that I reported on made that lesson about bestiality on, that she's found with a, bear with me just one moment. One minute. Yeah, but she was found with in Sakiev, it sounds a little bit further away, but yeah, she was found with a dog. I guess she'd posted videos or something like that. And I did a lesson about her because, that being no one's profane as Esau, which again, we're going to close out with that. But she was saying, she basically had a post. She basically said, so what, something along the lines of like, so what, I was found with a dog or whatever. At least the dog was having fun or something like that. And you can see how I look. You'd hit me as well or whatever. Basically being proud and boastful and saying that, you can say whatever you want about the dog, but he was enjoying himself and you'd still get with me regardless, even if I'm doing stuff with dogs because of how I look. And she wasn't even that good looking, She wasn't even that good looking. I had a picture of her body and everything in it. And, her posting the thirst trap. And it wasn't even, it was nothing to write home about at all. Just standard Edomite build, no butt, no thigh, very tiny boobs, that was it, and she was over here being proud about it, about laying down with this animal. It's just fucking disgusting. But hey, that's Edomites for you, man. That's how they are. That's just how they are naturally. They're base men. All right, they were children of fools. They were base men. Let's go and get that. Come on. Job 30 and 8, it says, "They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth," which is a perfect segue to our next scripture here in Hebrews 12 and 16. And that's where we're going to close out. Hebrews 12 and 16, "Lest there be any fornicator or profane person," and profane means unholy, ungodly, all right, basically lacking morality. And fornicator is someone who takes place in illicit sexual intercourse, all right, anything that's against the law, all right, biblical law, anything that is, that freaky deaky shit, all right, anal sex, all right, all that stuff. Even if it's between a man and a woman, can't be doing it, right? Just fornicate, having sex with your parents, all right, having sex with animals, all right, having sex with a married woman, all right, that's all fornication, all right, illegal sexual intercourse, okay? So it says, "Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright." There you go. So that's that, man. That's pretty much all we got. Like I said, if you're trying to figure out, it doesn't say anywhere that Esau Edom's the white man. Well, we have plenty of videos on it. All right, the brothers in this truth. We have plenty of lessons on it. Like I said, I'm always going to recommend you go over and watch Great Millstones videos. Again, I'm not a part of them. All right, but that's who I learned from, and I can't go about calling myself affiliated with them because I feel like that would be something that they would have to put on me. Because back in the day, not too long ago, you had some people, I guess, that were calling themselves affiliates being some bad apples. And guess what? A few bad apples spoil the whole bunch. So that's in the same time where the decree went out by Apostle Har that we can't, give double honors anymore because The apostle wasn't really feeling affiliate camps anymore, much too much, because again, you know, you had a lot of these guys that were claiming affiliate, but meanwhile bringing in a whole bunch of bullshit, right? But like I said, I'd go and watch their videos and check them out. All you got to do is Esau, type in Esau, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of videos that links it up to the so-called white man. But like again, it's a long subject. It's not something you can just fit into a lesson as a side gig or as a side part. It is something that really needs its own video. So if you need that, go ahead and watch that. Look that up. But yeah, man, the Romans had a large amount of sugar in their tanks, and so do these these Babylonian Edomites, right? They all do. They have sugar in their tanks. Now they won't admit it, but they do. All right, they absolutely do. So that's the lesson. We're gonna go ahead and close out there. Lord, when the lesson was edifying, again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. I want to say shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Until next one, Lord willing, shalom.